Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Los Angeles fire still uncontained, triggers air quality warnings and health concerns. Police warn against looting. US, UK impose new sanctions to squeeze Russia's energy sector. Global market braces for impact. As Donald Trump threatens annexation, Greenland raises voice for independence, says will talk to US. Denmark supports the idea. Biden blasts Meta decision to scrap US fact-checking as shameful. The social networking conglomerate also access diversity programs as part of corporate rollback. And in sports, Neeraj Chopra beats Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem to be named world's best male javelin thrower of 2024 in US magazine rankings. A series of deadly wildfires continue to tear through Los Angeles, burning down hundreds of buildings and forcing thousands to flee to safety. 6 simultaneous wildfires have devastated Los Angeles County neighborhoods since Tuesday, which have killed at least 11 people over and destroyed nearly 10,000 structures. Thousands of people have suddenly become homeless, and thick smoke has prompted US officials to declare a public health emergency. Firefighters are making progress in containing the Palisades fire on the western edge of the city and the Eaton fire in the eastern foothills after fierce winds that supercharged the fires for days finally eased. In addition to the Palisades and Eaton fires, a blaze broke out near Calabasas. As fire rages, the authorities are also tackling a wave of looting in affected areas. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden affirmed full support of the White House in response to the ongoing fires and their impact.
We've got a long way to go, as we're out to hear from the governor and others. And while the winds have died down for the time, we expect they'll remain a threat until early next week. So we're going to keep working 24/7 to support state and local officials to fully stop these fires as soon as possible.
The officials issued air quality alerts and urged people to stay indoors in areas where smoke was visible. The schools cancelled classes and scientists warned about the fatal consequences of the wildfire smoke. Air purifiers are being sold at some stores along with residents taping windows to keep the smoke out of their homes. Environmental health scientists and doctors warn that particulate matter posed a hazard to people with pre-existing lung and heart conditions, as well as the elderly and children. The United States and Britain on Friday imposed new sanctions targeting Russian energy sector, including Russian oil majors Gazprom, Neft and Surgutneftgaz. The UK is shipping sanctions prohibit the vessel's movement and access to some British ports. This move aims to give Kiev and Donald Trump's incoming team leverage to reach a deal for peace in Ukraine and to cut Russia's revenues. The sanctions are part of a broader effort as the Biden administration has furnished Ukraine with $64 billion in military aid since the invasion, including $500 million this week for air defense missiles and support equipment for fighter jets. And US President Joe Biden said that new sanctions will substantially raise gas prices and would have profound effect on Russia's economy and reduce Putin's war chest.
Imposed today because they will have profound effect on the growth of the Russian economy and make it more difficult for Putin to conduct his wars. It is probable that gas prices could increase as much as 3-4 cents a gallon, but it's going to have a more profound impact on Russia's ability to continue to act in the way it's acting in the conduct of war.
The announcement comes just 10 days before Biden is due to step down and puts President-elect Donald Trump's incoming team leverage to reach a deal for peace in Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked his US counterpart Joe Biden for his unwavering support. The Biden administration has been steadfast in its support for Ukraine, announcing almost $6 billion in new military and budget assistance last month ahead of Trump's return. Biden has raced to provide as much aid to Kyiv as possible ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th, amid fears the Republican will slash support for the U.S. ally once in power. And after the announcement of the United States and Britain on sanctions against Russia's energy sector, global oil price jumped over 3%, with Brent crude nearing $80 a barrel. As a document mapping out the sanctions circulated among traders in Europe and Asia. As Russia pumps around 10% of global oil supply, the sanctions would cause severe disruptions to Russian oil trade to its biggest buyers like India and China. The U.S. Treasury rescinded a provision that had exempted the intermediation of energy payments from sanctions on Russian banks. The sanctions should cost Russia billions of dollars per month if sufficiently enforced. And as Donald Trump's threat of annexation of Greenland to USA has raised eyebrows across the globe, the world's biggest Iceland's Prime Minister has raised voice for independence, and Denmark has seconded the same. Both leaders, however, have said they will talk to the US President-elect in this regard to address his concerns. Find the details in this report.
While Donald Trump's idea to annex Greenland has sparked new controversy in Europe, the Greenland Prime Minister Mute Egde stood firm, insisting that Greenland's future will be determined by its people.
We don't want to be Danes, we don't want to be Americans, we want to be Greenlandic, and of course it is the Greenlandic people who decide their future.
Egde's remarks came as he met Denmark Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen and deliberated upon the impact of Trump's statement. Later, both leaders addressed a joint press conference and revealed their own understanding of the situation. Greenland Prime Minister said, however, that he was open to talk to Trump in this regard. Denmark, which governs Greenland, said Greenland's sovereignty remains non-negotiable.
And when it comes to the question of independence, I would like to reiterate that in our eyes, it is a decision that starts and ends in Nuuk and in Greenland. Greenland belongs to the Greenlandic people and no one else.
Earlier, many European leaders, including German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, French President Emmanuel Macron and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni have also voiced their concerns, with Scholz retaliating that borders should never be moved by force. Meloni, on the other hand, ruled out the possibility of the US using force to annex Greenland, calling Trump's remarks a message to China. As climate change opens up new shipping routes, the Arctic is increasingly becoming a geopolitical battleground. However, the question remains, will Greenland's sovereignty be unchallenged, or will geopolitical pressures reshape its future? Bureau Report, DD India.
An outgoing US President Joe Biden is set to deliver a farewell primetime address to the nation on Wednesday, just days before his single term in office concludes and President-elect Donald Trump assumes the presidency. It will be his fifth and likely the final Oval Office address. Joe Biden began his term in 2021. He pushed through major pieces of legislation to unleash historic infrastructure spending along with renewing ties with the country's international allies. The last time Biden spoke from behind the Resolute desk was when he announced his decision to withdraw from the 2024 presidential elections. And justices at the United States Supreme Court have signaled skepticism towards the challenge brought by the video sharing platform TikTok as it seeks to overturn a law that would force the app's sale or ban it by January 19. Friday's hearing is the latest in a legal saga that has pitted the US government against ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, in a battle over free speech and national security concerns. The law in question was signed in April, declaring that ByteDance would face a deadline to sell its US shares or face a ban. But ByteDance and TikTok users have challenged the law's constitutionality, arguing that banning the app would limit their free speech rights. During Friday's oral arguments, the Supreme Court seemed swayed by the government's position that the app enables China's government to spy on Americans and carry out covert influence operations. And following a week in which Mark Zuckerberg announced that Meta was getting rid of fact-checking, the social media giant further announced on Friday that it is dismantling its diversity, equity and inclusion or DEI programs across the company, marking another major shift in strategy ahead of Republican Donald Trump's return to the US presidency. The move comes amid what Meta describes as a changing legal and policy landscape following recent Supreme Court decisions against programs that allowed for increased diversity priorities at US universities. In an internal memo to employees, the company outlined sweeping changes, including the elimination of its diverse slate hiring approach and the disbanding of its DEI team. Other corporate giants like Amazon, Ford, McDonald's and Walmart have pulled the plug on their DEI initiatives. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden on Friday criticized Meta's decision to scrap its US fact-checking program on Facebook, Instagram and Threads. Describing it as shameful, Biden said that the move stands contrary to everything America is about.
It's just completely contrary to everything America is about. We want to tell the truth. We haven't always done it as a nation, but we want to tell the truth. And the idea that a billionaire can buy something and say, by the way, from this point on, we're not gonna fact check anything. And when you have millions of people going online, reading this stuff, it is anyway. I think it's really shameful.
And Brazil on Friday gave social media giant Meta 72 hours to explain its fact-checking policy for the country and how it plans to protect fundamental rights on its platforms. Attorney General Jorge Messias said his office could take legal and judicial measures against Meta if it does not respond in time to an extrajudicial notice filed on Friday. Citing Meta's lack of transparency, Messias said the company will have 72 hours to inform the Brazilian government of its actual policy for Brazil. The decision to hand the deadline to Meta came after a government meeting overseen by Brazilian President Lula da Silva on the implications of the changes for Brazil. Now, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was though sworn in for a third term in a ceremony, but it was decried as illegitimate by the opposition and many countries in the West. His challenger in July's election, Edmundo Gonzalez, recognized by the United States and much of Latin America as the legitimate winner, said Maduro had crowned himself a dictator and staged a coup. Washington and London issued a bevy of sanctions on Maduro's regime, with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken slamming the inauguration as illegitimate. In a sign of Maduro's isolation, only two prominent regional leaders, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel and Nicaraguan ex-guerrilla Daniel Ortega, attended his inauguration. Russian President Vladimir Putin sent his congratulations. And Brazil's government announced on Friday that officials in neighboring Venezuela have ordered the country's shared border temporarily closed hours after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was sworn in for a new term after a month-long election dispute. The announcement was made in a statement from Brazil's Foreign Ministry, which noted that the border closure will remain in place through next Monday. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has not officially recognized Maduro as the winner of last July's contested election, and the leftist leader did not comment on Maduro on Friday. Now, latest on South Korea's Jeju Air crash, the Transport Department revealed that the flight data and cockpit voice recorders stopped recording about 4 minutes before the airliner hit a concrete structure at South Korea's Muan airport. Authorities investigating the disaster that killed 179 people, the worst on South Korean soil, plan to analyze what caused the black boxes to stop recording, the ministry said in a statement. The voice recorder was initially analyzed in South Korea, and when data was found to be missing, then sent to a U.S. National Transportation Safety Board laboratory, the ministry said. Jeju Air 7C-2216, which departed the Thai capital Bangkok for Muan in southwestern South Korea, belly landed and overshot the regional airport's runway, exploding into flames after hitting an embankment. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Ayodhya celebrating the first anniversary of Ram Temple's Pran Pratishtha ceremony. India's men's double pair of Safik and Chirag all set for the semi-final action at Malaysia Open Badminton Tournament. And a major contemporary circus event, the International Circus Arts Biennial, kicks off this Saturday in southern France.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will join the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025 on National Youth Day on January 12th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. He will engage with 3,000 young leaders selected through a merit-based process from 30 lakh participants nationwide. The event marks a shift from traditional National Youth Festival celebrations, aligning with the PM's vision to involve 1 lakh youth in non-political nation-building efforts. During this session, young leaders will present innovative ideas on 10 critical themes, including technology, sustainability and women empowerment. The PM will also release a compilation of the best essays on these themes, cultural performances and expert-led deliberations on India's challenges will enrich the event. Now updates from Assam, where efforts to reach the workers trapped in mine made headway on Friday as the rescuers reduced the water level inside the flooded quarry. Officials said that the supervisor of the labourers, who was absconding since the disaster, was arrested, while Chief Minister Sharing on X said the mine was earlier run by the state's Mines and Minerals Department but was abandoned 12 years ago, calling Monday's mining operation illegal. He also shared the information of one body recovered, that it was recovered in morning. The exact number of workers trapped is still not known, as the illegal operation kept no records. Now, Prayagraj, one of the sacred pilgrimage sites in North India, is gearing up for the Mahakumbh 2025, which is set to begin on 13th of this month. DD India's Siddharth Bharadwaj takes stock of the medical facilities put in place by the administration for Mahakumbh 2025.
At a temporary medical camp set up by the authorities to ensure safety and health of all the pilgrims who will be participating in this grand event. So here, with the help of the QR code, the patients who are coming here can easily get themselves registered. The registration process is very simple. As you can see, the QR code which has been put up here, in 4 simple steps, a patient can register themselves. In fact, to deal with any emergency situation, a 24-hour emergency room has also been set up here. This temporary medical facility at Mahakumbh 2025 is a comprehensive setup featuring 32 around fully equipped departments, including an ultrasound room, an X-ray room, an ECG room and a vaccination room. The camp is designed with all essential medical resources, ensuring readiness for a wide range of health needs. It also houses both a minor and a major operation theatre, equipped to handle various medical procedures. And additionally, an ICU is available for critical cases, ensuring immediate specialized care.
This is 300-bedded hospital. It's a temporary hospital. It included 13 specialist doctors. Total doctors are 30 here, already allotted by the governments. There are 25 ambulance services already allotted in this central hospital, and total ambulance services in Mela Kshetra is 125.
The authorities are leaving no stone unturned in ensuring safety and health for all the people who will be coming to this grand event. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayagraj.
Ayodhya gears up for the first anniversary of Ram Temple's Pran Pratishtha ceremony. The Ram Janmabhoomi Temple, inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on January 22, 2024, marks 1 year since its operations began. Celebrations taking place from January 11th to 13th, with Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath expected to attend and inaugurate the event. The Janmabhoomi Teerth Kshetra Trust revealed that over 2 lakh devotees visited the temple on January 1st. The month of January also holds significance, with the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj expected to draw massive crowds to Ayodhya. Alright, so these are the live visuals we are getting from Ayodhya as it gears up for the first anniversary of Ram Temple's Pran Pratishtha ceremony. So the celebrations have already begun. This is a 3-day event, the celebrations taking place from January 11th to 13th, with Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also expected to attend the event. Also, so these are the live visuals we are getting from Ayodhya, where the celebrations are taking place as it completes 1 year of the consecration ceremony. The celebrations taking place from January 11th to 13th. And Janmabhoomi Teerth Kshetra Trust revealed that over 2 lakh devotees visited the temple on the first day of the year, that is January 1st. And the month of January holds special significance, with Mahakumbh in Prayagraj expected to draw massive crowd to Ayodhya. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his best wishes to all countrymen on the first anniversary of the consecration of Ram Lala in Ayodhya. This is what he wrote on X. This temple, built after centuries of sacrifice, penance and struggle, is a great heritage of our culture and spirituality. He further said, I am confident that this divine and magnificent Ram temple will become a great inspiration in the accomplishment of the resolution of a developed India. Unquote. All right, we'll go across to Ayodhya now. DD India's Ajay Mishra is joining us live from there. Ajay, the first anniversary celebrations of Ram Lala idol consecration ceremony in Ayodhya has commenced, with a large number of devotees reaching the holy city to take part in the event. Tell us, how's the atmosphere there?
I think it's magnificent out here, Siddhant, and as you have just pointed out, that this is the first anniversary of Ram Temple's first anniversary, and Ayodhya is currently witnessing huge inflows of devotees. I think almost more than 1 lakh devotees have come in Ayodhya, but so far, I think a couple of thousands have already visited this very special premises of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi, and there are many cultural and spiritual events that has been organized for the next 3 days, starting from today, because today is the day when last year on 22nd of January the Pran Pratishtha ceremony was inaugurated by the Prime Minister. This time around, the Kurm Doordashi, in alignment with the Hindu Sanatan calendar, has come on 11th of January, and this historic consecration ceremony is being celebrated. The first anniversary is being celebrated. You must have seen the visuals of Mahabhishekam, where the idol, the Archavatar of Sri Lord Rama has been given the Mahabhishekam with the cow ghee, cow milk and cow curd, followed by the honey and Sharkara. So Shodosho Pachar is the word that we use in Sanskrit to mark this special puja. After this Mahabhishekam, the Shringar is being done, and you can see the beautiful attire of Bhagwan Shri Ram in light yellow attire, which is very pious and is very close to the heart of Lord Rama. And you can see the small idol with a laddu in his hand, and we often heard Laddu Gopal, but it is also written in Shastras that Ram also loves laddu along with his Param Bhakt Hanuman. Hanuman, Ram and Krishna all love laddus, so you can see the golden ball of laddu in the hands of the small Vigraham of Sri Ram, which is there along with the brothers Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna. So it's quite a spiritual, you can say, magnificent, and some people cannot believe that they are already here, because many of them were not aware that today is the Pratishtha Dwadashi, and many of them were waiting for the 22nd of January, but
yes,
it was a pleasant surprise for all of them to see this beautiful images adorned with the quintals of flowers, which has also been imported from foreign. So
right.
I've spoken to some of the visitors from Poland and USA. They have also come to experience these beautiful visuals, and they want to retain with these memories.
Right, Ajay. We can see in the visuals also people are there in huge numbers, and for the first anniversary of the Ram Temple's Pran Pratishtha ceremony. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the updates from Ayodhya. And India's Neeraj Chopra has been named as the best male javelin thrower in the world in 2024 by globally renowned American magazine Track and Field News. Neeraj settled for silver medal at the Paris Olympics 2024 after losing gold medal to Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem. Along with that, Neeraj defeated two-time world champion Anderson Peters of Grenada for the top spot in the 2024 rankings. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.